Welcome to What's Up at the Rec. I'm Vicki Donlin, Recreation Commissioner, and today we're at the South Shore Center for Orthopedics, Spine, and Sports Medicine here in Hingham. And our guest is Dr. Michael Geary. Welcome, Dr. Geary.
Thanks for having me.
We're so glad to have you here as we prepare for the 56th Annual 4th of July Road Race. Now, I want to start, Dr. Geary, with asking you to tell us a little about your sports medicine practice.
Sure. Most sports medicine physicians either have a background in orthopedics or family practice. Mine is in orthopedics. So what that means is after completing a 5-year orthopedic residency, I do a year of additional training in sports medicine, which is essentially the medical and surgical management of sports-related injuries.
And I guess you see a lot of runners?
We do. We do see a lot of runners, and they tend to have mostly overuse type injuries rather than, acute injuries like you would see in football players and other contact athletes.
Well, our goal today is to prepare the almost 2,500 runners for this road race in helping them be prepared for this road race. Our first question, tell me, do you have suggestions for exercises or stretches that people can do before a run?
Sure. I think stretching it can help, and it can help potentially reduce the incidence of pulled muscles. In particular, pulled hamstrings muscles tend to be a more common muscle injury that runners get. So certainly pre-running stretch routine can help with that. But probably more important than that is to have to have trained for the run itself, to not just roll out of bed and run 4 miles for the first time in 6 months. But so I think it's kind of training leading up to a race, even for a 4.5 mile race, and certainly races longer than that you definitely need to train for.
And stretching before as well as after the race?
Yep, I think that both of those can be helpful, both for preventing cramps during the race and pain after the race.
Now, our race is an early morning race. We start at 7 a.m. I know I'll be getting up at 4:30 that morning, and on race day, sometimes you need a little something in your stomach. What do you suggest to eat or drink or not to eat and drink either the day before or the day of the race?
Well, the day before, typically a meal that has lean protein such as fish or chicken, and some type of carbohydrate like pasta or rice, fruits or vegetables are probably the best pre-race diet you could have the day or two before the race. In terms of the morning of, probably just stick with your usual routine. Nothing heavy, but some toast with peanut butter maybe, or bagel with peanut butter, and it's also important to hydrate prior to the race. And generally, we recommend hydration within 2 to 1 hours prior to the race.
And because our race is on July 4th, and I know as a former runner, we've had mornings of 50 degrees, and last year I think we had mid-80s. So how can a runner prepare not knowing what the weather might be, or what suggestions? How does weather affect a performance of a runner?
Weather is very important. In particular, if it's hot and humid, you need to plan for that. You need to stay adequately hydrated both before and during the race. What runners need to do is prior to even starting the race, they should drink some fluids, either a sports drink or water. Generally, we recommend that you complete that within an hour of the race. That way you don't have to, there's not the concern of having to go to the bathroom during the race. And in terms of after the race, you need to rehydrate. Now, a 4.5 mile race, you're probably okay just making your way through that without stopping for water breaks. But if you do feel like you're thirsty, then certainly it'll be fine to kind of pack some, if you do pack fluids with you, or if there is a water station, to stop and to hydrate.
And we do have water stations along the way. Finally, there's nothing more exciting than this race. I have to tell you, it's a downhill race from Notre Dame Academy this year right down to the center of Hingham. And we have observers all the way. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times runners decide to make it a sprint rather than a run. And I know myself, I've done the race 25 times. Those sore muscles the next day can really get the better of you. Suggestions, what do we do after the race if we've kind of overdone it?
Sure. Well, the best treatment for soreness the day after is prevention. So, if you do a lot of running, then you're going to be less inclined to have sore muscles the day after. But having said that, if you do have sore muscles, the typical treatment would be rest, potentially ice, anti-inflammatories. And that sore muscle syndrome typically, starts about 24 hours, peaks at 48 hours, and then within 3 to 4 days should subside. So no quick fix there, but
And I hate to ask, but just in case, how do I know maybe it isn't a sore muscle and I actually need to come and see you?
The symptoms don't resolve within a week. If you have a significant limp, those would all be reasons to consult your physician and schedule an appointment to be evaluated. That might be a sign of a more significant muscle injury, and that may require more intensive treatment than just rest and anti-inflammatories.
Great. Thank you very much. Well, this was a great interview. It gives us a lot to think about as we prepare for this 56th annual 4th of July road race. I hope you're prepared. I'm ready. We'll see you on the 4th. Thank you.